Hi there. So there's a new class over at South Carolina that's going to be offered next year, and it's called AP Seminar. All right, and so what is this class and should you join? Well, what is AP Seminar? Well, it's an AP class that essentially focuses on research, essay writing, presentations, teamwork, and it's all on the topics of your choice. So what are we going to accomplish in this class? Essentially, you're going to learn research methodology, research paper writing, argument and defense. You're going to learn how to do presentations such as the one you're seeing here. And it's all going to be on topics of your choosing. So if you notice, all of these begin with college level because that's going to be the goal. Okay, so if you're already at college level, this class isn't for you. If you want to improve and you want to get to college level and you want to help out all your other AP classes, then this is the class for you. The best part is that there's no complaining about why do we have to study this? What's the point? Because it's you that gets to choose the topic. So here's a quick presentation example that I put together to kind of give you an idea on what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so this was going around for a while and I heard a lot of people asking and everybody was arguing, but nobody's formed a good argument as to for or against. So here's what a good argument looks like. Is water wet? Well, the first thing we need to do is define our parameters, okay? And so we got to give the definition of what wet is. Here are three very popular dictionaries and their definition for wet. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines wet as consisting of, containing, covered with, or soaked with a liquid, such as water. The Oxford dictionary puts wet as covered or saturated with water or another liquid. The Cambridge Dictionary states water is with liquid in, on, or around something, not dry. Well, I guess we should take a look and define, well, if something's not wet, then it must be dry. What is dry? Same three dictionaries. The definitions for dry given as by Merriam-Webster. Free or relatively free from a liquid, and especially water. The Oxford Dictionary puts it as free from moisture or liquid, not wet or moist. And the Cambridge Dictionary says dry is without water or liquid in, on, or around. So let's take a look at a molecular view of water in contact with water. So I have a beaker. These are little water molecules. Hopefully you all have taken chemistry. And this is kind of a scientific approach on it. And you can see water is in contact with water. It's covered with water. And each one is surrounded by water. Just the mere presence of water means that it cannot be dry. Well, what if we take a more philosophical approach on it and say, well, what if it rains over a body of water? If I have a river, a lake, even a puddle, and it starts raining on the puddle, is the rain wetting the water that's in the puddle? If you go outside and it's raining, you become wet because the water hits you. Well, does the puddle become wet? Let's go back to chemistry because this is what I know. So if you notice, we have anhydrous versus hydrous powders. Hydrous meaning with water, and hydrous without water or dehydrated. If there's no water present, like in the white powder on the left, would this be considered dry? If you look at the blue powder in the middle, this is a copper 2 sulfate pentahydrate, which means there's 5 water molecules per each copper sulfate molecule. Therefore, there's water present. Since water is present, even though it's a powder and it looks dry, shouldn't this be classified as wet? It's in contact with water. It's surrounded by water. And if you look at the last one, that's kind of a greenish turquoise type color. This one is after exposure to the just water vapor in the air. It's in contact with water, so would this one be wet, even though it looks like a dry powder? We can see the different color changes, meaning or implying the degree of wetness in each of these seemingly dry powders. Well, what about this one? Can water be wet with oil? We said that something is wet if it's in contact or covered by a liquid. If you notice in the cup, I have water on the bottom, oil on top. Water is in contact and covered with liquid. Is this water being wetted by the oil? Essentially, the presence and contact with any liquid means the thing is wet. So in conclusion, water is a liquid. Water is in contact, surrounded, covered, and saturated with water, which is a liquid. Water can come in contact with other liquids, and water is definitely not dry. Therefore, water must be considered wet. So there's just a quick example on how to define the parameters and so provide support for each of your statements. And this is essentially what we're going to be looking at again on the topics of your choosing. So you interested yet? Wondering who should take this class? Well, basically it's any students in or planning to take AP courses, students planning on going to college, basically anybody who wants to develop and improve their reading, writing, research, teamwork, and leadership skills. Working as a team and leadership is huge, and I know a lot of times we're not very good at that, and that's where we need the most practice with, because when you get out into the universities and when you get out into the real workforce, that's what you're going to have to do, is work with people that you might not know. They're not your best friends, and so these are some good things to work on, and we're going to focus. Students who basically enjoy learning. You gotta enjoy what you're doing, and we're gonna be able to do that, especially with being able to pick your topics, and we're gonna have fun, but it is gonna be difficult. And basically, you gotta be willing to put in the effort. If everybody that's in this class has similar drive and wants to put in the work and enjoys the learning, we're gonna have lots of fun. So what's the reward? Why should I even bother taking the class? Well, you're going to connect and use what you learn in all of your classes, okay? And you're going to be able to take a philosophical, a scientific, you're going to use your English skills, your math skills, your reading skills, and all of it comes together for the purpose of whatever it is that you choose your topic research to be. Speaking of, you get to research the topics that interest you. Again, like I mentioned, no complaining about, oh, I don't want to study this. Well, you're studying what you want to study. We're just trying to help you get better at doing the research and making the presentations and getting all of that done. You're going to improve the skills necessary for future classes. If you pass the AP seminar exam, you're going to earn college credit. You can take the second part of this, which is AP research, the following year. Now, if you were to pass the AP seminar and the AP research and 3 of your AP tests, which just by taking this class improves your chances of passing your AP test, you get a capstone diploma. This is a whole extra diploma on top of your high school diploma that will make your transcript look absolutely amazing. What if you don't pass them? Well, you're still going to have AP seminar and maybe even AP research on your transcript, and college admissions are going to see that and know that you have been trained in their methodology and you're prepared to go ahead and do what it is that is necessary. So if you're interested, if you have any questions, you can scan this QR code here and you can ask your teacher to leave it up for you. And it'll take you to a Google form, and go ahead and sign in for me. Or you can just come by to Science 2. This is Mr. Fritz, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the class and whether you can fit in and what it's going to entail. And that way we can have the people who want to be there, and it can be very successful, very enjoyable, and I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. Have a great day.